You know what time it is. Cold after eating. Actually, I ate quite a while ago. So, not supposed to be doing diet sodas anymore. Complete hard no. I did a bad thing though. I finished the diet Coke I got in the fridge. Because it was in there, it needed to be finished. Hi, I'm Josie, and technically this is editing Josie, not quite the intro. So the intro is a little bit ways away, but this is a heads up. That intro has like flashing red lights. So if that is an issue for you and your brain, I will put a timestamp on this to just go ahead and skip forward past that, and then you should be good. It looks crazy in here. Hi, I'm Josie, and I am, I think, less than 3 weeks out from doing my first show. Now, I started this prep journey, so NPC bikini, my first time with the Clash in mind. And then I went ahead and decided, you know what, I should probably do at least one show before that too. I think I'm lean enough that I'm confident to get on stage. Maybe not lean enough to place very well, but we'll see. Because it's also not supposed to be entirely based on just how lean you are, but also the shape that you're presenting. And, I've been lifting weights and everything for about 8 years. 10 years of being very active and like 8 years of lifting. So, yes, it is flashing red. We are putting lights in the garage so that it can have the color lights, those cool like LED garages that people have. So there is my wonderful husband taking care of that. These things are just flashing and flashing. I was on quite the roll today, so I got up, got my meal, same thing with yesterday. I've been keeping a much more detailed list. Everything needs to be very detailed, and including like the time, any not just lifestyle stuff, but like lifestyle that's very dedicated in a way. Like we went on a 1.7 mile walk, so I just made sure to add that and like how the day went. And tomorrow, gonna do an extra check-in tomorrow because the show I'm going to, Sarasota, is coming up, but also because if you saw the last video, I got sick. I gave myself food poisoning. There was a bell pepper with fuzzy seeds, and I was like, oh yeah, if I cut it off, Great Depression type thinking, then I could be okay, because overall it was fine. It's just the seeds and one black spot. No, I got food poisoning, so for a good 2 days, I tried. I ate my food, but it was coming out of every direction, so I had like 2 days, and then I had a night where I didn't sleep at all. Cool. I woke up 116.8 or something like that, but gained the weight back because water retention and stuff. So, but I do feel like it's very carb loaded. That's this for now. Gonna take a break because the red lights are very distracting. This isn't really red light therapy. I guess this is more like red light annoyance. It is the next day. So crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and get going to the gym. And I had my check-in, and it's been wild. It's been quite the time. So touch back in a bit. We are safe. All right, done with the workout. Okay, so here's the thing. The reason it's not really a good idea for me to be taking my bike out is because I am I feel weaker, definitely feeling weak. But it's not just that, it's being slow. And in taking my motorcycle out, like my driveway's inclined. So I'm downwards, the road is upwards, and taking my bike out already, physically I feel weaker. So going up and out, and then mentally slower. And when you're on a bike, you need to have your head on a swivel, and be looking out for traffic and stuff and being mindful. And I already, when driving my, family car and cars and stuff, the thing is like the automatic SUV, even that is tough My husband's car, tough. Especially because my car is on the right side, so shifting is backwards, but I'm used to mine. But the shifter is a little bit tougher and slanted in mine, so already it's like, if I'm feeling weak or just kind of foggy, I'll like crank it, not have it in the right gear that I want it in. Never the bunny shift. I don't go for 6 and put it in reverse at a high speed. That doesn't happen. Mine only goes to 5, and I know that. But like in my husband's car, then it's backwards, and like I scraped up his wheels and drove on a curve, life stuff. And then for my motorcycle, obviously, that's even more nuts. But one issue that's been happening is like every vehicle. So it started with my neighbors keep having vehicle troubles. And it's as if it's like a virus, because now all of our vehicles are like one by one. Each week, different vehicles having a problem. So the Volkswagen, well, first the truck had a massive coolant leak, and then now the Volkswagen's having like fuel pressure gauge issues. So imagine a big 3,000 pound car running on 40 horsepower. Not very effective. So then there's my bike. Then my car. I came home from the gym because something happened to the Volkswagen. So I was like, well, it's not as good for me to take my car. But I still took it. And then I got home, and my car had coolant leaking. And now it's below minimum coolant. So, and I think it takes like a special coolant. And I don't want to mess that engine up. It's a Rover K engine. Rover K, I think. So then, because both cars are out, and I don't like to take the vehicle with the car seats, just in case anything he needs to go anywhere, the kids can still go because car seats. So I took the bike, and yeah, definitely, I ate all my meals early in the day, and it gave me some energy for the gym. And then I had, some caffeinated electrolytes there, and really timed it so that I'd be as mentally present there and physically present, to get back. But geez, by the time I got back home, certainly rough. So if you are interested in doing bodybuilding and doing it for a show, especially some of these shows where you have to get really, really lean, because so it seems like some of these natural shows, you can have a little bit more softness to yourself. You don't have to be conditioned quite to the same degree, and maybe with that you could get away with it. But for like NPC, IFBB, that side, highly recommend that last month planning for a show, or at least like within a couple weeks of attempting to be stage lean. It's just the kind of thing where I don't recommend you riding motorcycles. And I didn't even want to do that. I was kind of like frustrated. So, because then the rest of the day I get to be extra hungry because I ate everything right then, so I could go out. Then I took the kids out grocery shopping, and that was that. That was fun. You like my nostrils? Getting to really know each other. Are you curious at all about some of my posing I was doing last night? And I'm getting super lean. I'm thinking like I did the shots between the gym, but I'm thinking about putting some overlays here of what I was doing. I'm definitely starting to really learn my flow, which I think is kind of like a sporty, flirty. I think that's what I'm going for, like kind of flirty, a hint sexy, but not super crazy, but very sporty and spunky. That's kind of what I'm aiming for, I think. But yeah, I'll overlay that, what I was working on, and then maybe I'll get at the end of the video some better shots. But as you saw earlier too, that diastasis. that definitely is when I kind of, gave myself food poisoning. I got to have a waist that was below 26 inches for a little bit there. That did not last. I eat food. The thing is if I find on average, like when I'm doing high fat, slow carbs, just in general, not really in regard to protein, but higher fats, lower carbs, that I think my waist stays smaller. And obviously if you throw up and, Hershey squirt out all your food and you don't have anything in there, of course your waist is going to be smaller. But back in the 26-inch range, and as you can see, like in these videos, like my waist looks very thick, and that's definitely something that I'm concerned about. So my coach is like, okay, well, it's no vegetables right now, which I had said at one point, it's like, well, the vegetables are for you to get, the micronutrients in, but at this rate, being so close to show, I'll play around with a few veggies. Like today I had green beans. But really, I can do canned. It has to be extremely steamed, not as high of quality, just so that I can digest it. And I'm just going to be making sure that I get in a multivitamin to help with that. Just try and keep everything tight, keep everything in. But we're getting close to the end, so I'm not too concerned. And the other thing too is, in terms of like trying to do bodybuilding and doing it as healthy as possible, keeping an eye on my menstrual cycle, which I still have a libido. It's just not as big, but as long as I still maintain my menstrual cycle, I'm not super scared. The protocols and stuff that cause people to like lose their menstrual cycles is pretty scary. That takes years off your life when you're doing stuff like that. And I think my coach is a bit of a hard A. Sometimes I don't always like what she says, but that seems to be pretty normal. Sometimes I feel a little bit misunderstood on the fat to carb ratio, especially like if I've had less carbs because I just ate my own way. And then when I eat the carbs again, it's like I literally look leaner, but my waist is like an inch and a half bigger. I look leaner. My muscles look fuller because carbs means glycogen, which is glycogen in the muscles, water in the muscles. It's not like I'm not getting fatter. Like literally 2 new veins popped up, but yet my weight is up. But she gets the results, and so I think I will continue with her in the future. Just everything in my house is breaking down, dude. Like the cars, just one after the other. Roof leak. You know what a septic pump is? Do you know what a septic pump is? Mine wasn't pumping for years. It was connected to just a random broken wire in the ground, not live wire. And so apparently all the poop and stuff in the house, all the sewage was just moving by the grace of gravity. Apparently the way it was designed made it so, like, it was like, my roof is not up to code, but like the grade of my roof, so roof leaks, and then a bunch of holes, so like roof is leaking, but the way that the septic access point was actually well beyond code. So that saved us from having a huge disaster. It still costs money and everything to take care of. And my coach was like, okay, are we going to keep doing like a longer reverse and build and then do OCB? Because I told her what I wanted to do. And I was like, no, we're pushing that time frame back. I'm just not going to do anything really outside of like my own. I'm going to have her get me started on the reverse, and then I'm going to work my way back out on my own. And then I'm going to just kind of, leisurely work on building up her body, be a little bit less afraid of that. And next year, instead of doing NPC, I think what I'm going to do is switch over to OCB. And see about maybe self-coaching myself for bikini, you know, while my hair's short. And then as my hair gets too long, it looks like OCB doesn't have nearly the same hair rules. I see people with like the double buns and stuff and things like that. Because one thing I really love is to keep my hair long. But then to build with her over the summer, like as my Mother's Day gift to myself, and then just spending my own money on it, like 2 months to build, and then maybe by the fall find a show, and then then do that again. But it's expensive to hire her. But I do like having her as a resource. And then after I do OCB, you know, see, well, how does that compare to NPC? Then maybe see about self-coaching myself for a while, so that I can maintain doing it as like a hobby. Because once I've done that, I will have a bikini suit, and then I will have a figure suit. So theoretically, I've got 2 of the really expensive pieces. And then it could just be something where I go and I just have a grand old time once a year, annually, doing a show. And it's not just, this stuff is expensive to do it the right way. I'm getting so sweaty and gross. But yeah, that's just catching up. It's getting darker. I think that'll be it for this venue. All right. Well, not at the end of the video in terms of the total end, because this is going to be like the end of the video, but the end of the video in terms of me walking around outside with the sun going down and the visibility getting bad. This is basically the conclusion though. So I am like 2 weeks out. Just the update from my coach real quick. So she's going to be making, after my Saturday check-ins, my 2-week plan. Yeah, so I'm 2.5 weeks out. I'm going to have the 2-week plan, and I'm thinking this is going to be the depletion. And what's cool is because it's not the Clash, it's still going to be intense, but it's going to be like a test run. And if I'm not stage lean yet, I'm still the leanest I've ever been. I've already won for myself, if that makes sense. And then we'll just see how the Sarasota show goes. But what's really nice about getting into this position is, however conditioned I come out, if I need a little bit more, still have gotten really close. And then I'll be able to take judge feedback as well into the Clash. And I'm excited about that. So this is a really exciting journey. I'm a little scared about the coming week. But yeah. And I really don't like that, because I just use my phone. The YouTube app for a while there was just not letting me upload any videos. Every time I went to go do it, it would just crash. So I could do like long form on Studio, but as far as the shorts, but I think if you have any interest in like shorts, if any of them are motivating, I really noticed once I stopped putting day whatever in the title, my views just started going down. But there's a couple of you, and I really appreciate how much you've been supportive of me. Can I say your names in the next one? Well, comment if you're okay with shoutouts, because I think there's 2 or 3 of you know who you are, outside of my mom and siblings when they watch. But yeah, I want to get those shorts in at least as just motivation for sticking to my meal plan and just sharing if it's crazy at all, or like the workouts and stuff getting intense. Very excited, but nervous. So I'm just gonna kind of enjoy this week's knowing, and then I look forward to it. Maybe I should do, I say I should do something, and then a lot of times I just don't. Like meal prepping, when it's not just workout day, rest day, it's going to be very varied. Very varied. And I get to use all my cottage cheese yogurt containers. But the nice thing about that is I can literally just write what meal it is on like the lids. And what meal today. Like, not meal today, TODAY. But which meal per which day. So like Monday's meal can just say like Monday meal 1, Monday meal 4, whatever. The ones that have like ground beef, chicken, fish, anything that needs to be cooked, rice, potatoes. So looking forward to that. My brain cells are screaming to sleep and not carry on a long conversation, so I'm gonna let you go. If you are interested in following along, please subscribe if you like this video. Give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. Let me know. And yeah, any comments you want to do, I read them all to the best of my ability. I try to find them. And if you put swear words, YouTube puts them in the hold section, so then I have to go find it, but I figured out how to find that. So all right, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever it is you're doing, and see you in the next one. Bye.